Hello there. I'm Scotty. You're not. Welcome back to Shudder Horror Weekend. That's right. And we're talking about another recent release from this year. Yes, it's House on Eden, starring Colby Chris herself, Chris Collins. And I'm sorry, I'm not familiar with Selena Spooky Boo. I'm not familiar with hers. I am. I do follow Chris though, and I do like her content, but I don't. Which is why this stuck out to me. This is one of the ones when I started doing this, and I have to try to cover my bases with the ones from this year. So that's why I'm covering quite a few from this year. Influencers, Dark Match, which counts because it technically was released to Shudder for American audiences worldwide in January. So, and then there's this one, and there's another one, Night the Reaper, that I'm planning on doing. Don't know if that'll be the next one, but it'll be at some point. So Chris, she wrote, produced, and starred in this, directed in this, wrote, produced, starred, and directed this. Wrote, produced, directed, and starred in this. Along with Selena Spooky Boo and some guy named Jason J. And let me know if you heard this before. It's a found footage film about three friends making a movie, and they go to some place where there's woods and they disappear. Kind of sound familiar? Yeah, what it is they're going to some cemetery for their YouTube content show, whatever they're filming, their ghost hunting show is what it is. And Chris is like, surprise, bitch! We're actually gonna go to this house, which during the first part of this movie, she keeps saying it's the house on Eden Road. Then after a certain point, they just call it House on Eden. And I think there's a reason for that. So it feels like they really didn't have many takes with this movie. It feels like they kept some things in. You know, it's done fine. But there is a lot of calling it. A few times towards the beginning of the movie, she calls it the House on Eden Road. And then once they get to the point where they're going to go on there, like, oh, it's the House on Eden. House on Eden, that's what they keep saying, House on Eden. They got rid of Road. Because I think they realized that House on Eden Road didn't make sense. Because they do the found footage plot point of they get to a certain point. We can't drive. We gotta walk the rest of the way. And it was here where they were going through the woods where I thought, wait, why is it the House on Eden Road if there's no road? And then they just stopped saying road. And it's like, oh, I think they realized a mistake there, because it was before all that happened, when they're like, before they had to stop at that place. And I'm watching this, I'm like, for the most part, there is a path that they could drive. I'm recording, dude. It looks like they could have driven. They're in a handicap van, is what it is. It looks like they could have driven further, but they just chose to walk. Maybe they weren't allowed to. They had no permits. I don't know. Like, so Chris's defense for this: oh, we're gonna go someplace no one has ever been to. No, dude, recording. We're gonna go to some place that no one has ever been to. Fine, you know, I'll just re-record this. I hit the wrong button. He'll call back. We're gonna go someplace that no one's ever been to. They even verify this by calling two of their other YouTuber friends, like, hey, you heard of this before? No, we never heard of it. No. But then they get there, and they're like, hey, I could smell. They find this big bonfire area. Like, hey, do you smell that? This feels recent. It still feels a little warm, and I'm like, wait, didn't she say that? And then they go in and like, this place looks, it's furnished. Like, people have been here. I'm like, wasn't the whole selling point is that no one has been here? Right? There's also some subplot where it's like, Chris keeps throwing up, and immediately I caught on to, oh, she's pregnant. And they do, like, oh, she's pregnant. And then it's like, they don't confirm it right away, though. Like, she throws up, or whatever, and I caught on, like, she's pregnant. You know? And then, at one point, when they're in there, like, they separate, you know? And because they get there. They go in. And of course, so when they start walking in the forest, it's broad daylight, they decide to do hide and seek. And there are a couple times like, did you see that? But they don't stop the camera for us to see anything. Probably because there isn't anything there. Like the Blair Witch Project did. You know? But the Blair Witch Project was supposed to have something there, but it didn't work, and they just kept it out. I've always voiced that I would have liked to have seen what it was, just to see if it was too goofy or not. But you don't see anything. They don't let the camera stay still long enough for you to see anything. This is what you're seeing, okay? This is what that scene. You see it? I thought I saw something. I could too if you kept the camera still. There's a lot of... You see that? You see? That shit. Like... Right? And I get it, it's found footage. You're gonna have the shaky cam. I'm not mad at it. It's just a lot of... If you want to do did you see that thing? Hold the camera still long enough so we can see it. Fat guy runs around, runs out of breath. What a surprise. Anyway. You just see me after I moved the couch. Yeah. Did you see? It's in the bedroom. It's hell to get that in the bedroom. But I like the openness of this. I can walk in and out more. I like it. Anyway. You're probably like, no, we didn't see. You wouldn't hold the camera still long enough. Anyway. So after a little hide and seek, which I think it's implied that this is where the demon Lilith, which was also part of Supernatural, there was a demon named Lilith, first starts going after Chris. There's a point where we follow her, then it cuts to the other two trying to find her, and then she just jumps out of nowhere. She's like, what? And then so they get there. By the time they get there, it's dark. Right? And here's my situation. So here's what happens. They get there and like, oh my god, I think we forgot one of the cameras when we picked up our stuff. I think we left it out there. We need to go get it. And I'd be like, yeah, we do. Tomorrow, when it's daylight. No, they gotta go get it now. So they leave Chris there, and the other two go to get the camera. Because Chris has to see the weird stuff. She starts walking around the house. She finds... So here's another thing. I know that they have to be stupid for this movie to work the way it does. Okay. They have to keep pushing forward. So, if I'm one of those other two, I've been told no one else knows about this place. You get there, it smells like fresh fire. Still feel the heat a little bit. You go inside, it's furnished. Someone's been there. I'd be like, you know what? This is trespassing. We need to go right now. This is not what you said it was going to be. Obviously, there's someone here, but no, they just keep on, you know. And there's a whole thing with her where she goes up, she starts looking around, she finds a room marked Lilith. She goes in, noise stuff, and then we cut back to the other two. We cut back and forth, but then they make it back in, and they find she fell from somewhere. And oh, I'm fine, and yeah, then they're having an argument. I think we need to go. We need to go back to the van. We need to stay in the van. Then the camera hard cuts to Chris getting off the floor. And at first I thought, oh, we're cutting back to when she fell and showing us what happened to her. No, it's the next morning. It's daylight. It's the next morning, and they both she and Jay have woken up and don't know. And then they find Selena upstairs doing some weird chant. They're able to wake her up. And they're like, do you remember what happened? Last thing I remember is arguing and then saying we were going to go back to the van to sleep, and then just waking up here. Like, it did not want them to leave. So obviously by this point, Selena and Jay just want to get the fuck out of there. But she's like, no. We need to keep this going. Right? We need to keep this going because it's one of those things where, you know, it's Lance Preston in Grave Encounters. Something is happening. We need to keep filming this, and everyone else wants to go. It's like, no, this is evidence, something. This is good, but like, also it's not good, right? So they decided to buckle down for the night, and you have to excuse me if I'm trying to remember here. Well, at one point, Chris does look up on her phone. They have cell service, apparently. She says, I went to Google and I searched Lilith, and this is the first thing that came up. I'm like, okay. We're going to test that, actually. We are going to test that. I seriously doubt that you can go to Google, type in Lilith, and the first thing will be about an ancient demon that was cast out by Christ. Apparently, something about Lilith was actually the first one created before Adam, and she was cast out. Lilith. Well, I typed it with 2 L's, but it gave me the son of a bitch. Lilith, also spelled Lilith, Lilithu, or Lilith, is a feminine figure in Mesopotamian Jewish. According to accounts in the Talmud, she is a primordial she-demon. Lilith is cited as having been banished from the Garden of Eden for disobeying Adam. So she was woke before woke was a thing, right? She was strong female, right? The stem Hebrew word from which the name Lilith is taken is the biblical Hebrew in the book of Isaiah. Though Lilith herself is not mentioned in any biblical text, in late antiquity and Mandaean and Jewish sources, from 500 AD onward, Lilith appears historicalized incantations incorporated. Historical, as notes see. In a short story. In various concepts and localities, they give partial descriptions of her. She is mentioned in the Babylonian Talmud, and in the Zohar and Leviticus 9a as a hot, fiery female who first co-inhabited with man. Many rabbinic authorities, including Maimonides and Machim Miri reject the existence of Lilith. The name Lilith seems related to the masculine Akkadian word Lilu and its female variants Lilitu and Ardelili. The Lili root is shared by the Hebrew word Lilith, appearing in Isaiah 34:14, which is thought to be a night bird by modern scholars such as Judith M. Blair. In Mesopotamian religion, according to cuneiform texts of Sumer, Assyria, and Babylonia, Lilu are a caste of demonic spirits consisting of adolescents who died before they could bear children. Many have also connected her to Mesopotamian demon Lamashtu, who shares similar traits and a similar position in mythology to Lilith. I'm not going to go through the whole history thing, but I just went through that paragraph here. So, I mentioned the bearing of children. Chris does bring it up when she does her research, where it says that she is often going after women who can bear children because she could not bear children. And that's another clue. Oh, she's definitely pregnant. Right? She's definitely pregnant. So, yeah. So, they decide they are going to shoot in this house. And siblings, they have a thing. I thought it was an EVP thing, but it's more like, where like it could say words. I never seen this before, where you say something to someone and instead of like a me kind of thing, or it speaks words. They first do it where they have Celia. I forgot her name. They have Celia sitting in the Indian Native American style, legs crossed, doing it while Chris goes upstairs. Well, they're all downstairs at first, and Chris ends up running upstairs when she hears the name Lilith. This is before she does her research. So, after this point, they do keep cutting to the room. Apparently they have a camera in the room, and there's someone else in there. We don't see him. There's someone else in there. So, and then Cecilia starts chanting again. Eventually, Jay is able to shake her out of it. And yes, the irony of a found footage thing where the cameraman's name is Jay just brings me back to Marble Hornets. So, he's had enough, but he's going to go out for a cigarette now. And I was like, do we ever actually see him smoke? There's also implied that there's some sort of love interest relationship thing going on between him and Chris, which leads to the pregnancy thing. It does. But she does talk Celia into participating, and then they go upstairs, the different rooms. And so this was a bit confusing for me when I'm trying to suss it out. Chris sets up these things, which she calls cat balls, where if there's motion or something, the light will go off, and there's also a music box that will go off if you brush it. So, I'm confused at what she was trying to do here. She's like, I want you to walk by the cat balls. But she's facing the opposite direction and can't see it. I'm guessing she's like, I'll just look at the footage. Right? Because you see each of the cat balls light up as it leads to Chris. Like, something's coming for her. And in the other room, Celia is talking to a spirit. And you get the, are you stuck? And then, it cuts to Chris, comes back, you are. I'm here, yes, I'm here, yeah. It's not what. Eventually, though, she hears Chris yelling, and when she goes there, she's fine. She doesn't remember anything. Right? Then they have an argument, and that's when she reveals that she's pregnant. Called it. Already knew it, right? You figured it out. And so Chris still wants to keep this going. Celia's had enough, and she goes out to find Jay. Jay is gone. Don't know where he went. She's Chris is still trying to figure out what's going on. So what was pissing me off, and it's even more frustrating with the ads on a streaming service, because on a streaming service, they put them at certain points. They're strategically put at points. Wherein YouTube supposedly is supposed to be random. Several times during this movie, it'll cut to a commercial when something's happening. Like, to start running, commercial. Something will happen, commercial. There's literally a point, a very important point in this climax, where Chris goes to check out, I think it's the bedroom, where there's a tub full of water. And she goes in. Something attacks her. It cuts to an ad. And that's done. It cuts to something else. I'm like, what? No. I try to rewind it. It just plays the ad again. And so I'm like, so there's no way I can go back and actually see that. Is there a physical media version of this? I want to know. Because I need to watch this without the ads, so nothing is fucking ruined. Because, like, why would you place an ad there? During a moment. You need to see what's going on. Why would you put an ad there? Why? So anyway, she goes out. She finds Chris's camera from earlier. Not the one that Chris has. She still has one, a different one. It shows her when she went to buy the snacks. Or schnacks, as she said earlier. Earlier in the day. And there's a woman wearing a white gown in the background. And she said, congratulations. And I didn't think about it till then, because Possessed Celia said congratulations when they were there. Congratulations. And they didn't really bat it. You know? But like, okay. So if this weird lady said congratulations to Chris then, why wouldn't she like flinch for that or later? Then she finds Jay's camera that shows Jay hearing a scream, running out to the hearing a noise. Actually, he's out there, he's venting his frustration, he's smoking. He hears a noise and goes out to investigate, and he's attacked. She runs out. Well, she hears him scream. Celia hears him scream, runs out, runs after him, and she's taken out. So now we go back to Chris, who pops out of the bathtub, and eventually she gets caught. Now I was disappointed. Okay, because I read the Wikipedia where it says that this cult takes Chris. She's in a trance that she takes Chris, and they start smearing her friend's blood over her naked body. What they do in this movie is a cop-out. I understand she didn't want to show any skin. They sort of do. It was probably a body double, though. You could have get away with that. There's no nudity in this. Well, there is a fat naked chick that attacks her, but that's it. No. Throughout the film, they cut to what looks like a old film stock. And they do that here so that they can sort of cut around her naked body. You have to really kind of pause it and glimpse it. I didn't want to. It's like, okay, it's a cop-out too. But like the Wikipedia article could have mentioned, the film cuts back to the film stock as they smear. No, it just says they smear. And at first I'm like, oh, it's going to be from a distance, you're not going to see anything. And then it cuts, oh, okay. And then it's just that film stock thing. I'm just like, oh. Not that I need to see it or, have to see it. Just don't promise naked if you're not going to show naked. Okay, stupid Wikipedia article. I'm a man. What can I say? One track mind over here. But, yeah, and the movie ends. And I went, this is the Blair Witch Project mixed with the Vivitch. It's literally what it is. It's literally the Blair Witch Project tell the ending when it becomes the Vivitch. It's really all. With a little bit of paranormal activity and maybe some grave encounters in there. It's a mix and match of all things found footage. You know what I mean? I'll give it a low middle of the road. I thought it was fine. A lot of people don't like it. I thought it was fine. You know, I'm a little less harsh on found footage than most people because a lot of people just criticize it for all it is shaky cam the whole time. What are you know, a lot of people are down on it. But I'm just like, as a fan of the genre, of the subgenre, it's fine. There's a lot of shaky cam. I said that earlier. If they let the camera breathe a little bit, they let it stay still. Ironically, once they get to the house, the cameras stay more still than they do during that woods. I just don't understand what the whole point of that wood scene was. But it's fine. It's perfectly fine. So, what are your thoughts on the House on Eden? Someone should like, share, and subscribe. Thank you for watching. I'm Scotty, and I'll see you in the next one.